Good evening, everyone. This is Josh here at Big Slick. And, last night I had posted a video, my review of Hidden Gem movie review of Lightning Bug, and I really didn't like how it turned out. And that's mainly due to me. I just wasn't on my A game. So I took that video down, and we're going to do this over again. And hopefully, this will turn out a lot better than the last one did. But anyhow, once again, yes, I'm going to do a Hidden Gem movie review on Lightning Bug from 2004. Now, Lightning Bug is probably the best movie you have never saw, let alone heard of, which is kind of a shame in itself. But it's a movie that as soon as I watched it for the first time a few years ago, was definitely fell for it right off the bat. It hit so many different nerves, and I'll tell you a little bit about the movie. Now, once again, normally when I do Hidden Gem reviews, I typically like to avoid spoilers, so this is going to be a spoiler-free review because I want you all to watch it for yourselves and see what you think without spoiling anything. But I'll give you the bare bone crux of it and then tell you a little bit more about my thoughts on the movie. This movie was written and directed by Robert Hall, who you would know from who prior to making this movie had worked makeup effects for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it's always been his dream to make movies. So he this is a pretty much a fairly low budget film, and it's basically loosely based off of his own life growing up in rural Alabama. So in this movie, we follow the character of Green. That's the character's name, Green Graves, played by Brett Harrison, I believe. I gotta look it. Yep, that's who it is. And he's basically a teenager and has already become a quite the makeup effects artist on his own, getting supplies, making all these different masks and so forth. And he, of course, has dreams of moving away from his hometown to go to Hollywood and get into doing makeup effects in movies. He is also a very avid horror movie fan, and along the way, he, of course, gets himself a girlfriend played by Laura Prepon, if I'm pronouncing that right, who all of you would know as Donna from That 70s Show. And she, too, is a big horror fan as well, and that's what they kind of bond over. This movie isn't really what I would call a horror movie per se, but because the movie itself is about horror fans and some of the prejudices that they have to deal with, I think it's every horror fan should watch this, or anybody for that matter who feels like an outsider, I think would really relate to this movie. He decides he wants to open up a haunted house, for Halloween, for the Halloween season. He figured this would be a great way to add to his portfolio to help give himself a job in Hollywood. So he does that. He works very hard at putting everything together. Now he has met with some resistance. We are in a very small town here, so there's a local church, and there's this lady that pretty much like that one of the head people of this very fundamentalist church, who pretty much tries to cast him off as the devil for the most part because of his love of horror. Also, Green has a younger brother who's very impressionable and played very well by Lucas Till, I believe is the young actor's name. I should also say the little bit of the irony of all of this is that the church lady, I guess we could call her, who's like in opposition to Green, played by Shannon Eubanks. She also happens to be the mother of Laura Prepon's character, Angevin, is what her character's name. So it's a little bit of a makes things a little bit more tense as they are. Green also has a single mother, by the name of Jenny, played by Ashley Lawrence, who we all know as Kirsty from Hellraiser. And it's one of her better performances. She always gives a great performance anyway. And we have a little bit of a side plot there where she ends up getting involved and ends up marrying a very really abusive piece of shit by the name of Earl, played terrifically too by Kevin Gage. It's a character that, if you've seen the movie Sling Blade, will kind of remind you a little bit of that character. I think his name was Doyle or Daryl, one of the two, played by Dwight Yoakam in that movie. Kind of like that type of a character, only worse for the most part. So that throws a lot of drama and tension into this film, that whole relationship. And so, besides Green having to deal with all these outside influences like this church, the local cops are always harassing him too, as well. Now he's got to deal with this domestic drama as well. But that's pretty much the crux of the story. It is a story that will bring all kinds of emotions to you. It will make you laugh. It will make you angry. It'll make you sad. Maybe even a little bit of hopeful at times. I was going to say there is some really good humor in this movie as well. This movie really is kind of like a coming of age drama. And I think for us horror fans, we can very much live, I think, vicariously through the character of Green and his girlfriend, both of whom being very huge horror fans. And I think all of us have, maybe at one time or another, have, been belittled or been stereotyped unfairly in the past. It's probably not as bad nowadays as it was, say, back in the 80s. And I'm guessing that's right about when this story probably took place, probably late 80s, early 90s, I'm guessing. Doesn't specifically say, but this is a terrific movie. I hope the thing about it is, and I think one of the reasons why you haven't heard of it is it really isn't streaming anywhere, which is really kind of pisses me off a little bit, because the movie this great, because we're talking about a low budget film that does not feel or look like a low budget film. The acting across the board is terrific by everyone involved. I myself own a physical copy right here that I purchased off of eBay, which is, I think, about the only site you can find it on if you wanted a physical copy. Now, the first time I did watch it was on YouTube. Someone had it posted on their channel. So it's the full movie version, and I'm going to drop a link to that movie in the... I'll drop it in this video description, as well as I'll drop it in the comments as well, so everyone gets a chance to watch this movie. Once again, I would certainly, I highly recommend this movie for sure. I can't imagine anyone not liking this, but who knows? Everyone has their different tastes, but for sure, I hope everyone here, and I even forgot here's a good picture of the movie poster itself. But this just goes to show that a movie like this impresses me much more than a higher budget film with a big A-list cast across the board. This is proof that someone can take small amount of money and still get a good quality cast together and make a really great movie out of it. So I would certainly say, yes, check this movie out. It's terrific. So that's it for now. I think I did a better job with this than I did last night. So hope you enjoy this, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.